the first 2 days are in underwear, and guys play a little bit different than when we put the full pads on. So today, we split things and we went about 40 plays live today. So, I mean, I have to look at video, but it was the first real piece in the stadium, first real time with running backs. We put the other running backs in because we know what JJ can do. Topher did some good things today. Bam did some good things today. Bambada did some good things. So, we're trying to find out, kind of held Gary and JJ today, just to let those guys get the reps today during the scrimmage. And I thought they responded well. Got to look at the tape for pass protection, but when they handled the ball, they were all effective. And then, offensively, we're trying to get the young receivers going, and defensively figure out what it looks like with some of these young guys that have come in here, and some of the guys that were redshirted last year didn't play. So that's what the goal is. Just like I said, to open those. I mean, nothing's changed.
What do you need to see from Nathan Tilford to get to the point where the coaches trust him, and how might DeMarco help him get to that point?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's everybody is clamoring for him, but I don't know what he would have done last year. Between him and whether we had a guy run for 1,400 yards and All-American. Everybody's asking me where's Tilford. To me, that's crazy. So, we need him to come along and be a running back that we can handle, and can handle the passing game, can handle formations, can handle up tempo, and so far he's been doing that, putting in extra time. I think he had a lot going on in his life last year, which has kind of settled down a little bit. But I think we definitely need him to come up, just like. Bam needs to continue because, just because, he showed some flashes when he was healthy, he wasn't healthy. And, his approach to the game needs to be different. And Bambada's been a pleasant surprise.
Jalen Curry, a guy that came in kind of the way he carried himself, kind of wise beyond his years and everything, the age of maturity.
I think all those guys that are early are like that. I wouldn't single him out as one of those guys. First of all, these guys who, these early graduate guys, they got to be, because you think about it. If you come in as a regular freshman, you come in June. There's really a little bit of football, right? And you got the transition, and then you have one class, right? You had 6 hours for the whole summer. The hardest part of these guys, I think the early transfer, the early graduate is, you come in, you've got a full load in college. You have the workouts, you have the hardest workouts because we're in off season. So you don't have any transition time to ramp it up. You're in the toughest part, indoor, outdoor workouts, off-season workouts where the coaches can be involved also. And then you've got a full class schedule. So I think all these guys have come in, they're early guys from high school that are 17, 18 years old and handling it very well.
Jaden Mitchell got hurt his senior year.
Yep.
That was before you had become the coach here. You guys didn't have to honor his scholarship because you didn't have a relationship with him, but you did anyway. Why?
That's because commitment's a two-way street. And, we're committed to you, you're committed to us. And I've had guys at other places I worked that have had injuries their senior year. That's what commitment's about, to me. Now, there's some other places when guys have gotten injured, just cut them loose, right? So, to me, it's hard for you as an institution to say, all right, when a guy decommits from you, to be mad at him if you're going to decommit from a guy based on injury. If there's something legal, if there's another issue, that's different, right? But things that he can control outside of, but inside of football and inside of school, to handle his business. Hey, look, he committed to the university, right? And a coach, but the university, and so because of that, we're going to honor that all the time. I've had guys that were injured. I had one guy who actually broke vertebrae in his neck and could never play again. but I think he graduated last year from Texas A&M. So never played a snap, but because he committed to us, that's a two-way street. We stayed with that, and I just think that's part of doing the right thing and doing good business.
You talked a lot about leadership. Who are some of the best leaders you had in your time at Houston and Texas A&M?
Well, there's been a lot of guys that have been great leaders. Case Keenum was a great leader. I mean, unbelievable leader. But those guys were together for really the 4 years I was there. He had the ability to do that. There were a number of guys that nobody's ever heard of that were part of that. I think when I got there, we had A&M had a bunch of seniors, but a guy named Sean Porter, who's an outside linebacker, was really, really good at that. I think that you go through our time that being there, you see a center that's going to get drafted from there that really started every snap after his redshirt freshman year. The guys that really talk and communicate and do things in the right manner on and off the field, and that's what we're looking for.
Is your quarterback a leader?
He can be. He can be, but I don't know that. In some places, those guys at a certain point they have to. I've seen a lot of different styles, where Drew Brees is still a dominant guy on the field as a leader. I would say Jason White, who won the Heisman, was not that. He was more of a quiet guy, and people forget he even won the Heisman. He was so quiet. So, he was a different guy. There was a lot of talent around, a lot of guys in that offensive line that talked, and a lot of guys on defense that were leaders. He was really an operator. So, I've seen it work both ways, but at a certain point, the quarterback does have to settle down and talk to people because he does have his hand on the ball all the time.
I know that you want to watch more video, especially of today, but what's been your assessment of the quarterback's collective overall play so far?
Well, I think what we've seen is putting them in situations that, they could be successful, run and pass as an RPO team. And then I think Khalil has put the ball down and run some more, run a lot more. He looks a little bit more comfortable because he's healthy. Decision making and just getting the ball out of bounds sometimes with those guys. And then, we got the other guys who are, besides Rhett, are young. They're all three freshmen. So, people forget that. Even though Jamari played in a few games, he's still a freshman. So, the decision making and not losing yardage, not giving the ball to the other team, I think they've done a better job of that, getting rid of the football and then keeping us on schedule. So, we still got 3 weeks of spring. We've had 4 practices and we got the bulk of the practices to go.
Because of the experience factor, would you say that there's still a gap between where Khalil and Rhett are and where the other guys are?
No doubt. So, he's played a whole season. Khalil's played a lot of football. He played a whole season, a few games the year before. So, yeah, those freshmen, mostly haven't played. Jamari's played maybe 7, 8 snaps, right? Maybe 7. I think he went 3 and out both times he was in there. So, maybe 6. So, and really, with outside of Rhett, nobody has any experience.
With the transfer portal and all that, how does that impact the way coaches operate?
I don't have enough time to tell you. I'm serious.
Not really.
I don't have enough time to tell you. Because transfer portal is a two-way street. So roster management within your own roster becomes a different situation. And then the checking of the transfer portal becomes a different situation, for what you're looking for on your team. And then, the management of what that looks like. Is that a grad transfer that's immediately eligible? that doesn't really cost you a scholarship for the next upcoming recruiting cycle? Or is it somebody that you need, but he can't play the next year, he's got to sit out? So the roster management piece, the transfer portal was completely different. Is it worth getting a guy in here that can't help you immediately? You lose a scholarship for the next recruiting cycle, right? He's not going to help you next fall. He's going to help you two falls from now, right? And then, or is it a guy that can help you now? So yeah, you got to make those decisions.
We didn't see Miles Tapusoa on the other day. Was he back? Was he back today?
No, he's got a little injury, so we just want to be careful with him. He's new. We pushed him along. You know, we're just kind of bringing him along a little slower.
With the offensive and defensive linemen, are you going to kind of be overly cautious because the numbers are so low?
Well, yeah, we cut back the number of plays today. You know, so just because the numbers are low, you know, so we've got to be able to practice. Obviously, the physical nature of the game, but we also have to be able to, you know, bring along, and you know, this is a little bit different. We got large numbers of receiver and DB, and so, and we got to rep these quarterbacks. So there's ways to do that without those guys. You know, the great thing about those junior college guys were they're big, right? The bad thing about them is they're big because the conditioning level was not that high, and so, you know, today is warm out here today in that turf. So, you know, we've got to be careful with where they can go because fatigue creates some other issues, you know, when it comes to play confidence and injury. So we got to be careful with the numbers that we have and make sure these guys are coming along the right way.
How much will you ramp
Last
up
question
the
for Coach.
intensity next week? Seeing the guys got their feet wet this week.
No, we've ramped it up today. So we were live today for, I don't know, 40-some plays. So the intensity level is not going to change from today on. They understand that.
How many coaches
Thank you,
came
Coach.
to visit?